As RTE warns that Ireland's sea level is rapidly rising due to climate change, Dublin City Council is investing millions of euros in coastal housing developments. Evidently, one or both of these organisations is very confused. This is Ben Scallon and you're watching Gript Media. It's no secret that both the Irish media and the government are extremely preoccupied with the issue of climate change. On the RTE News website, one of their top news categories is climate, and just last week the government announced a fund of €5 million for, quote, climate change content production. The state is so committed to saving the planet, in fact, that they were willing to put up carbon tax during a fuel crisis and outright ban turf. Moves so unpopular with the public that some TDs speculate it could bring down the government. But that's a risk that at least some of them are willing to take. If average Joe Soap has to suffer, then so be it. The problem facing the planet is supposedly that serious. Bear that in mind as you read the following recent RTE article all about the massive sea level rise and flooding that allegedly awaits us all. Why sea levels are rising higher than expected in Dublin and Cork. Recent sea level rise is faster than expected at approximately double the rate of global sea level rise. It later says, the 2021 Intergovernmental Panel for Climate Change report estimates a 1 metre sea level rise by 2150 under a moderate greenhouse gas trajectory, adding the devastation to homes, businesses and places of historical, cultural and personal significance will be severe if this scenario comes to pass. Bear in mind that RTE says this is based on a moderate sea level rise. This isn't even a worst case scenario, they tell us, just a middle of the road situation. In a similar vein, in February of this year, a US environmental NGO by the name of Climate Central created a map showing that large parts of Dublin will soon be underwater. As reported by The Mirror, several coastal areas around Ireland are at risk of being partly submerged within the next 3 decades, according to the analysis. They even include a map with areas of Dublin which they believe will be below the annual flood level, including notably Irishtown and Ringsend. And this is supposed to happen in just a few decades. So why is this significant? Well, it just so happens that Dublin County Council is spending millions of euros on housing developments in these exact areas. As reported by the Irish Times last September, On Board Pleanála has granted planning permission to Maxall Property Limited for the construction of the Strategic Housing Development Scheme on a site southwest of Beach Road and south of Church Avenue in Irishtown, Dublin 4. Maxall Property Limited has put an indicative price of 4.8 million on 11 units from the scheme to be sold to Dublin City Council for social housing. Now, as you could probably guess from the name Beach Road, this is about 262 metres from the coast, which is where environmentalists tell us that the bulk of the climate flooding is going to occur. And no doubt there are similar examples in Cork, Galway and elsewhere. Now, there are two possibilities here. On one hand, maybe climate change is 100% real and just as bad as we're being told, and sea levels are indeed about to rise dramatically and flood us all within a couple of decades. But if this is true, then we have to conclude that the state is wasting millions in taxpayer money by investing it into coastal housing developments which will inevitably be washed away well within our lifetime. This would make them the most incompetent planners in the world with zero capacity to think long term. On the other hand, maybe climate change is not as bad as we're told, and in a few decades the sea level will be more or less where it is today. But if this is true, then the government's models on the climate, like on COVID, are total and utter crap, and the fear-mongering around this issue is grossly exaggerated. It necessarily has to be one or the other. You can't tell us that we need to increase carbon tax and ban turf because sea levels are about to shoot up imminently, but then start buying gaffs on the coast. This just further highlights, yet again, the absolutely confused, muddled planning surrounding this issue and the fundamental lack of joined-up thinking that underlies all of Irish policy making today. Please like and share this video, and if you enjoyed it, please consider signing up for a monthly donation via the link on screen to help us produce more content like this. Alternative media like Gript needs all the assistance it can get, and every donation goes a long way. As always, thanks for watching.